Oh my goodness. Woo, 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 woo. Woo, woo, woo. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I am hyped tonight. I am so hyped. I got the educated lady beside me here. She bringing out all the stops tonight. Looking educated tonight, boy. I tell you.
Well,
Good.
I figured, I might try and match my flavor to yours a little bit tonight.
Oh,
See how that
it.
goes.
I love it. I love it. It looks great. It looks great on you. It looks great on you. I love it. Hey, good day, everybody. Good day. It is a good day. It is a good, awesome day to be here. And man, we are on day number, what day are we on? Number 16. Day number 16 of this focus. We are nonstop.
Hard to believe, right?
Yeah, we've been in here on holiday weekends. We was on Saturday, Sunday. We was on Independence Day. We were still on. As a matter of fact, Independence Day session was really good.
It was. Oh my goodness.
I don't know what I expected. But that turned out nice.
Yeah, it exceeded my expectations, actually.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
But let me tell you what made yesterday's session really nice. You did.
Absolutely.
The people that were watching, you made yesterday's session just off the chain. It was very, very nice. And I appreciate you guys for coming out and hanging out with us, even on Independence Day.
Even on Independence Day, yeah. You all made the show for sure.
Well, talk about freedom. There's no better freedom in knowing what to focus on. And that's why we're doing this marathon, 26 nights of focus. And tonight is going to be another powerful night. Tonight, we're focusing on your niche, or like narrowing down the thing you should be really diving into and going deeper with in your business and also in life. What are some of the things you need to be focusing on in life in general,
right?
In family? And maybe that focus, that niche is based on categories. I don't know, but we have a dynamic speaker tonight is going to help us with that. And I'll just go ahead and be honest with you. This is going to be therapy for me. This is going to be therapy for me because I need this.
Yeah, there's that phrase, and I think a lot of people are familiar with it. It's jack of all trades, master of none. And that's sometimes what some of us do. That we try and do everything. We try and have our hands in every pot. We try to serve everybody.
Yeah.
But there's something that happens when we actually narrow down our focus, and our guest is going to give us some insight on that.
I love it. Look, we got Mark is already participating, talking about that Sweet 16. Yes. Mark, I did not even realize that. That's a good analogy, a good way to mix the sport again, athletics and sports again.
Could also be like, that's a special birthday.
The ladies, the Sweet 16. I don't understand. I don't understand. But you're right. Yeah, Sweet 16. Well, I went straight to basketball.
That's okay.
The brackets, Sweet 16.
That's where your head is at.
That's where my head is at. So, because we're trying to win.
We are.
We're trying to win. These sessions are going to help us win in life.
Yeah. And we're trying to do it, especially for the second half of this year.
Yeah.
So taking that step, being victorious in the second half of this year and even beyond.
Yeah. Wait till we get down to the final four.
Ooh.
No, what is it called? The 8? What is it called? What's the 8 when you get down to 8?
I don't know.
Okay. Come on, Mark. Help us out. Oh, wow.
You thinking March Madness?
Yeah. Okay. March Madness, that kind of stuff.
That
is Sweet 16, the something 8, and then they have the final 4.
Mm-hmm.
They go into that. But anyway, that's enough of us ranting. Look, guys, ladies and gentlemen, whatever you do not miss a night. Oh, I thought the other nights was off the chain. But the nights that are coming up, they're just stacking. Benefit after benefit after benefit. I can't believe it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so hyped. You just don't even. I'm trying to contain my excitement, but yeah, it's gonna be off the chain.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Thank you.
And tonight is going to get us started.
Yeah.
But after tonight, just a little sneak preview. I think we've been talking about it, but we have some things on relationships, really the whole family, whole family dynamic.
Whole family this week.
We're talking about being in the early years of marriage tomorrow night. Thursday, we're talking about marriage for the long haul. And Friday, we're talking about fatherhood. Saturday, we're talking about motherhood, single parenting.
Single parenting, yeah. It's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot, but it's going to be good.
Tell everybody you know, do not miss. You know what? Take a pause right now. You know somebody who needs to be here right now. Go ahead, just share the link.
Share
the link. I know you think all these good nuggets, not chicken nuggets. I know you think all these nuggets are just for you, but no, go ahead and share. Say, hey, you know what? Look, wake up. I want you to just watch this with me tonight. Come join us tonight. I know you're resting, but just binge watch like you would some other show. But this show is going to give you something you can live with.
Yes.
You can change your life, especially the second half of your life. Of
this year.
You know what? I'm all right. I was going to say I'm getting, but I'm not even going to say it. I am energized. I am alert, ready to rock and roll. I like when Josh was on. He came out punching.
He came out ready.
He came out punching. I was like, this dude is on fire. And we got a brother that's on fire tonight.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and get with this. If y'all ready to rock and roll, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat that says you're ready. Say, I'm ready by putting a 1 in the chat, letting us know you're ready to rock and roll. Girl, you're looking good.
Thank you.
Oh, my gosh.
Thank you very much.
I'm a blessed man.
Yes, you are.
All right. Anyway. Okay. Back to the show. All right. Cool. So let's go ahead and get into this. Let's go ahead and bring our guest for the night in so we can go ahead and start having these nuggets. I got my phone here so I can start taking notes. Tonight, we're talking about focusing on your niche. So let's see how we break this down. So let's go ahead. I'm ready.
Okay. So our special guest for this evening, his name is Ralph Hasting-Spaine. He's a financial strategist and trainer, and he's the president of Simplified Wealth Builders. He has over 20 years experience in the financial services industry, specializing in the areas of life insurance planning, long-term care planning, and retirement planning. He's helped hundreds of families be successful in their short-term and long-term financial goals. And he has expertise in developing strategies to create tax-favored retirement, long-term care, and income protection plans. He is a licensed insurance professional with a certification for long-term care. He's also a deacon at his church. And guess what, y'all? He volunteers as a soccer coach. You need to know this man is out there on the field coaching some folks on how to play soccer and how to play it better. And we just want to welcome Ralph, our brother. He has been so kind to us. He's taken us out to lunch and just poured into us. And we wanted to have an opportunity to have him share some of the wisdom that he shared with us personally with our audience. So please show some love to Ralph Hasting-Spaine. Welcome to the Focus Marathon.
You said, oh yeah, okay, here we go. My brother, thank you so much.
Standing ovation.
Yeah, man.
You know, even before I started, wow.
Well, now we got to keep our fingers.
Now you put the pressure on, boy.
Oh, this is so good. So good,
man.
Oh my gosh, man, this is great. We really
welcome.
Say
a brief hello to our audience. Greet them.
Thank you, Antonio and Karen. I appreciate being with you guys. When I first met Antonio, boy, I said, boy, this guy, he's special.
What kind of like?
Because the way Antonio can bring people together, the way he can control a group. Said, man, this guy has something special. And Antonio and myself, we've been talking for a while. We talk every Thursday, right?
Every Thursday we connect.
We talk. We just look at where the world is leading us and just talk about things that are happening. So I really appreciate him as a friend and also as an accountability partner.
That's the big part right there.
Right, because that is critical. You need to know that. So I just want to thank everybody that is on. Let me see who's on. Mark, hey Mark, how you doing today, man? Pleasure meeting you. V Jazz, is that how you say?
That'll work.
Tanya, Brittany, Eva, all of you, welcome, and thanks for having me this evening.
Yep.
Just want to
Mark
spend
gave
some
you a big
time.
welcome, brother. He said, "Welcome, brother Ralph."
Yes,
at the bottom.
yes,
Yeah,
Mark,
there you go.
yes. Thank you very much. Thank you, appreciate that. Let me see. Okay, somebody was giving you that information you were asking for about the last 8 teams. They call the Elite Eight.
Elite
Antonio,
Eight. There you go. Right.
Thank you.
We didn't know.
Yeah. But I really love what we're going to talk about tonight, about focusing on your niche, because the tendency for all of us is to want to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to be in master of everything, but we cannot. You know,
Right.
Most of the time we jack of all trades and master of none. That's what we are when we try to be master of everything. So we're not. So I want to start with a Bible verse, because when I came across this verse, it spoke to me about focus.
Okay.
It spoke to me about focus because we all are familiar with Elijah. Most Bible students are familiar with the prophet Elijah. They know his story, you know, Mount Carmel and all the things he did. But I don't know if a lot of people know about the prophet Elisha, his successor, right? But let me just read. I'm going to read. So if you have your Bible with you, just look at 1 Kings 19, right? And I'm gonna focus on verse 19. But to get the background, we can start at verse 16, where God spoke to Elijah and said, go anoint Jehu, grandson of Nissi, to be king of Israel, and anoint Elisha, son of Shaphat, from the town of Abel Meholah, to replace you as my prophet. So Elijah, if you begin in verse 19, let me bring that up here. It says, so Elijah went to a point, I think I moved, yeah, okay. So Elijah went to go see Elisha, and then he put his cloak over him. And when he did that, this is what Elisha did. So Elisha returned to his oxen and slaughtered them. He used the wood from the plow to build a fire to roast their flesh. He passed around the meat to the townspeople, and they all ate. Then he went with Elijah as his assistant. Think about that. He's just been anointed as the prophet that was going to follow Elijah. And the previous verses tell us that he was in the field, in charge of oxen. That was what he was doing. But when he got the call, he went back and killed every cow that he had, burn everything, cook it, and give everybody. He said, I'm done. I'm no longer going to be in this business.
Right.
I've been anointed to be a prophet. So nothing was going to distract him to bring him back.
Wow.
You know, they always tell us, don't burn the bridge.
Right.
I think that is a mistake. Sometimes you got to burn the bridge so you can focus.
Ooh.
And that's what Elisha did. He killed all the cows that he had. Right? The yoke, the plow, he break it down, use it as firewood to cook the meat, and then he shared the meat and then walked away.
So even the tools he had to do his work, he burnt that. I mean, he just burnt up everything.
Yeah, I'm no longer in the
cow
business
moving
or whatever business. I'm now a prophet, right?
Right.
That's what I've been called to do.
Oh, that's good.
So to get my focus, and most of us, you know, we miss it sometimes because the things that we're called to do we sometimes don't want to leave what we've been doing to go do the things that we're called to.
Okay.
So we never get to fulfill our promise.
That hurt. That's hurting me already to think that you could. Is it playing it safe? I mean, what would cause that for us to? I don't know what
familiarity.
Okay.
We're familiar with things. It's comfortable to do that.
Okay.
Right. It's comfortable to do that. And what we know about Elijah was, for the people that counted, like he did about, I think they said about 19 or 16 miracles, and Elisha did more miracles than he did.
He was all in.
He was all in. He was all in. So, and that is what focus is.
Yeah,
all in.
I never saw that. I saw that scripture before, but you tied it into focus, commitment, and focus. Yeah. Okay.
That's what he did. He said, "I'm no longer being part of this trade. I am now in something new. I've been called to do something else."
Okay.
So my question for all of us is, what are you going to be known for?
Okay. All right. I'm gonna act like I'm in a coaching session here. I'm like, okay.
What are you going to be known for? Has anybody asked you this question? What are you doing now?
Okay, unpack that for us.
What are you doing now?
So,
it might sound like that's probably the person is inquiring. Maybe they want to compliment you. But if people keep asking you that, it might be they don't know what you do. Because you've been doing so many things that now the person that haven't seen you in a month, and the last time he saw you, you were doing something A. Now he's not sure because maybe 6 months before that, a year before that, you were doing Z, right? So he sees you now and he says, "What are you doing now?"
So this is not a compliment.
And it might not be. It might not be a compliment, right?
Ralph, I think I'm gonna have to cut you off, man, in this session here. You're hurting me already. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
It might be. So I just take myself as an example, right? I've been doing insurance for a while. When you're in the sales, people come to you with everything. People have tried to get me into 5 Links, into Amway, into Ambit, into YTB, into Melaleuca, into every sales thing that is out there, somebody has approached me with to get involved in. And when I tell them I'm not interested, they say, "But you're in sales. You can make extra." No, I'm not interested. Because I wanted to be known for something. So that has kept my focus. For me, I wanted to be known as an insurance guy. Okay. That was what I wanted people to know me as. And it's funny, I was on a wedding this weekend, and I saw a lady. I haven't seen her for a while. Her and her husband had a policy with me maybe 15 years ago, but they separated and everybody went their way. And I haven't seen them for a while. And then and the question she asked me, "Are you still doing insurance?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Wow. So you're still doing it? Can you send me some information?"
Right.
Right?
Right.
Because she knew what you were known for.
That's what I want to be known for. That's what I want to be known for. I don't want somebody to see me today and say, "Okay, what is Ralph doing now?" Yeah. And I come across those people. You come across them, right?
Yeah. And they always calling you like, "Hey, I got something I want to talk to you about."
Right.
You know the setup, right? "Hey, you know what? I can't tell you, but you know what? If you're doing what you're doing on Saturday evening at whatever time, you know what the setup is, right? Because you've heard it so many times." Yeah. Ralph, I got a question for you.
Okay.
How do you mentally stay in your lane? Because everybody's pulling at you because what they're seeing is your gifting. And they're saying, "Oh, well, you're gifted at whatever it is." And this is for anybody that's listening, you have a certain gifting on you. And what people are looking at is the anointing on you. And they say, I want a part of that anointing. I want that anointing on my team. But everything that sounds good is not necessarily good for you.
Right.
So how do you, when everybody is pulling at you, how do you stay and fight off the arrows of distractions? I need the arrows.
For me, I believe the decision was made long time ago.
Okay.
So it was a decision that I made long time ago. It's like marriage, right?
Mm-hmm.
You meet a lady, she's nice,
She all right.
and you say, you talk to her and she wants to be your wife and you want to be her husband, right? And you guys decide, make a commitment, and you get married. Does that mean there's no other beautiful women in the world? No, that doesn't mean that. There are other people who might look attractive, but they're not for you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You've made a commitment to something. So I started in the financial services long time ago, even before I came to the US, to the United States, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've always loved things with finance. And so I knew that was my bent. That was the thing I love to do. I love to talk to people and educate them and do that. So I knew that was so when somebody was trying to get me to go to sell cell phone services, nah, I don't. That's not me. That's not what I want to do.
Right.
So let me ask this. So for the person who maybe sometimes is getting pulled off track, they're getting pulled away from their main thing, and they have that, there's that phrase, FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah.
What would you say to that person who's fearful that, oh, if I don't jump on this opportunity, I might miss out on something? What would you say to them?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Find a quiet space and talk to yourself and find out what you really want, and then look for people around you that can help you confirm that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know you guys teach spiritual gift, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get God speaks to you count you with that you have the giftedness in this, and people come alongside you and sort of confirm on you that, because if somebody is asking Antonio all the time, man, can you be the MC for this show? Can you teach this? Can you teach this? Right? They're confirming what is already there.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody is going all around and looking at different things, maybe they've not spent some time with themselves to look at and say, okay, what do I really want? Where is my giftedness?
Mm-hmm.
And look for people to confirm that in them. Right?
That's good. That's good.
If you say you want to be a public speaker and everybody that hears you says, oh man, I don't know if you can do that. Yeah, you might want to do that, but it's not been confirmed. Maybe you like the limelight that brings, but you don't have the giftedness for that.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me see some questions coming up here. VJs, could they be searching for the why to what you're doing? Could they be searching for the why?
So is this might be to the question, like, what are you doing now?
Okay.
That might be an answer to that. Then people like to, well, okay, we're trying to figure out why you're doing this now, because maybe this doesn't make any sense whatsoever to all your surroundings and your colleagues and your household. That's a good sign right there. If your household is shaken by this new thing you want to do, there's no congruency with what you're trying to do, that might be a breadcrumb that something is not right with that move.
Something's amiss.
Something's amiss. Right? Something's amiss with that. And maybe you, like you were saying, you might want to go to your quiet place and say, Lord, is that by design? What are you calling me out to?
Yeah.
And is that for me? Because I think, I'm gonna give you back the mic. I think that you can tell, you get these little breadcrumbs, as we call them, that identifies the thing you should probably focus on, and you need to test that to see, right? Exactly. Are you effective in that? Do people acknowledge that, or confirm it?
Yes.
And stuff like that. So,
and do you have passion around this thing?
Exactly.
Are you just chasing after, the latest trend or what have you? Do you have a passion for it?
That's good.
For that thing?
Or burden.
Or
burden for
it. Because most of the time, like I said, people approach me with all of this, different businesses, and I'm not. There's nothing wrong with them. Right. People are making money. People are doing well in them. But most of the time when they approach you, they approach you with, man, you can make money doing this.
That's the first thing out their mouth.
Right? That's what they. Well, sometimes I don't want to make money. It's crazy for somebody in the finance.
I know. I'm like, did we just lose everybody? I'm like, oh, what happened?
But sometimes that is not the main thing.
That's not the main thing.
Right? When my kids were younger and I had to run around and take them all the place, sports or hospital, clinic, doctor, whatever they were doing, I needed time. Time for me was the most valuable thing at that point in my life. Now my kids are all grown, they can handle themselves. So I still need time. The wife is still here, right? but that was critical at that time to be able to go to the meetings at school. So being self-employed to some extent allow me to do that. So yes, I want to make money. I got bills, but that was not a priority at that time. So
right. Yeah. So you was looking for something that would let you be more present.
Yeah.
Right. In the moment with people, your family and stuff like that.
Exactly. Because I didn't want them growing up and I wasn't there.
Right. Okay. That's cool.
That was important for me.
Yeah. That's cool.
And I'll just put Tanya said something, and this is so true. It could infer instability when you ask that when you ask that question. Like when somebody asks you, what are you doing now? Right?
Yeah. You know what? I realize. Again, I think this is a little bit of therapy for me. When people would ask me that, I knew what they were speaking about instability in my life. Okay. So I knew when they asked me, hey, Antonio, what are you doing now? I just, oh my God, it irked me because I knew that I was not carving that lane.
Yeah.
Like you said, what do you want to be known for? I don't know if you went through that, but what do you want to be known for?
Yeah.
And I knew that every time you hear that question, so what are you doing now? That now indicates the instability.
Yeah.
What are you doing now? Tanya, that was great, Tanya. Yeah. That was good.
You got a new thing. So there's this quote that I came across, and I'll just put it up. It says, if you try to appeal to everyone, you may appeal to no one. Right?
Okay.
If you try to appeal to everyone, you may appeal to no one. Because in everything that we do, right? Let's just see how we live life.
Okay.
Right? You have a toothache. You find a dentist that everybody says, man, that guy good. He can put you to sleep and you don't feel no pain and any of that.
Right.
Right? That's what you want. But if somebody is saying that dentist, man, he yanked my teeth so hard, I got a headache and all of that, you're not going there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not going there. And probably it's because, if it's a dentist, he's specialized already. Maybe that might not be a good example. But let's take a mechanic, right? A car mechanic, right? Yep. They're all over the place. They can fix everything. I have a Honda. There's some guys in Glen Burnie. They used to call themselves Honda men. The only cars they fix were Hondas. So I take my cars to them because they were cheaper than the dealership, right?
It appeals to you, yeah.
Yeah, but I know I wasn't going to go to the guy next door that said I can fix every car.
Right.
So you find that when you sort of narrow it and you specialize and things like that, you appeal to people that are looking for you,
right?
That want you, that want the thing that you have, because the people are out there.
Okay, Ralph. Okay, man, I got to be on the side of the people. So people are like, yeah, but Ralph, if I narrow my scope, won't I miss out on serving people?
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
All right, cool.
And Karen mentioned that earlier, right?
All right, cool. People want to know how do I stay and be okay with narrowing my focus versus broadening my scope? Because I think they get caught up in it. You need to have 5 streams, 7 streams of this. And I'm gonna give you the mic back again, but I believe what people are missing is most people that speak that language have already established themselves in one stream first.
Exactly.
And then that by them doing that, it's easy for them to get invited into the other streams with no issues.
You remember, because I watched your show with Douglas, right?
Okay,
what Douglas
yes.
spoke about, right?
Mm-hmm.
If some of the people only remembered, right, what he talked
Mm-hmm.
about, he focused on what he was good at and did that. And now that he's done that and saved the money and made the money, now other opportunities are coming. Now he
Right.
can do those things,
Right.
because now he's established, right?
Yeah.
So most people are not established. They're getting all over the place, and they never get established.
Yeah. And that's the blessing and curses of multiple, like, choices. We have a lot of choices here.
Right.
And so,
and there's something I think about going deep in something as opposed to having a very small bit of knowledge about a lot of things. But when you have talking about specializing, but when you have that deeper knowledge, then, there's certain things that you would pick up easier because you're very familiar. If we stick with that car analogy, you know how a Honda works, you know how their motor works, you know the type of oil that works best with them, the better tires for that car. I used to be a Honda girl, so I know about the Honda.
That's why I met the Honda girl.
Right? and we see that in the medical field, right? I want to be a doctor, right? And then I want to be a special. I want to be internal medicine, right? And then once they want to be internal medicine, they can go a little bit deeper. I want to deal with allergies and those things. So now, I could be a general doctor, a general practitioner, where I see everybody that comes. But the guy that brings it down and says, okay, I want to deal with people with allergies and asthma and those things. You don't call the general practitioner when you have a serious allergy problem. You look for an internal medicine doctor that is an allergist, right? So I think that there's this misunderstanding about when you narrow down that you lose. No, you don't lose. When you narrow down, the people that are looking for you find you, and they're ready to pay you for it.
Yes, because you got to pay more for the specialist.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
this is good, Ralph. I just want you to know this is good stuff.
Yeah. Let me see.
So Ralph, let me ask you a question. So you're in the financial. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I just want to see what comment here. It says there is a need for specialization which supports reputation.
Yeah, your reputation is out there.
Yeah.
And that's good.
Yeah. So in our industry, right? If you take the insurance industry and you look at the insurance industry, you can be in the life side of it, you can be in the health side, you can be in the property and casualty side, right?
Like home and auto.
Home and auto insurance, right? And even when you go into just the life side, which you can do, there's so much there. You can be on the life side dealing with seniors. You can be on the life side dealing with businesses. You can be on the life side dealing with families. So all of these are different segments. Even when you break it down going down into the industry, and even down in the industry, you can further specialize and all of that. Because the deeper you go, the more valuable you become, and the people that are looking for you, they pay you more.
The deeper you go, the more value you bring, and the more people seek you, and they pay you.
Yeah,
they seek out your expertise.
Yeah,
yes, they do, because that's what they talk. They refer to you as an expert.
Okay,
right,
right, good deal.
That's what they call you at that point. He's an expert. Who do you want to see? Go see the expert.
Yeah, and you start, and then your name gets around. People get to know you're top of mind. You're top of mind because, like, for example, if anybody was to ask me about who does your taxes, there's one name that comes up. I mean, there's nobody else that would even. What phone do you use? I know there are other commercials out there about phones. I just don't hear them.
Yeah,
I use one brand of phone, and that's it for me. Because, of their reputation and the value they bring me.
So I had to make a decision myself, because I was a general. I was doing everything. I'll sell to seniors. I'll do that. For a while, that's what I did. Then COVID came.
Okay.
Okay. COVID, because we had so much time in our hand, it gave me the opportunity to just sit down and re-examine a lot of stuff, a lot of things about about the business, about how things were going. And COVID was slow. 2021 was a little bit slow too. I had attended a training in 2020, and one of the speakers was a gentleman by the name of Bill Coates. He's a business coach. He's the author of several books. One of his books is called Radical Relevance. And in that book, he was talking about how you can narrow your market, develop a target market. So I had him in 2020, right? 2020, COVID, nothing to do much, just get on this training. And I had him. But do you know what I did?
What you do?
Nothing.
Okay.
Wait a minute. You had the training.
The answer I was expecting.
Nothing. Antonio, don't look at me like that, man. You did.
No, I'm just saying. I'm like, what happened?
You've done that too. You get some good training. You see value in it, right?
Right.
And you did nothing with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at the end of 2020, business was not doing really good. So as I was preparing for 2021 in October of 2020, I started thinking, I have to narrow this business down. I have to narrow it down. Mm-hmm. And what was interesting was I already had the tools that I needed.
Okay. We talked about that, having the tools already in your home, right, in your hands.
I already had it. I didn't have to go. But I've never made the decision to narrow down. And once I make, and that's the thing again about deciding, once I made the decision to narrow down, then I start seeing the tools that I had to do what I needed to.
All right. Got you. When you had the right mindset, things start to manifest.
They start falling in place.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like if you do a crossword puzzle, right? Not a crossword puzzle, a puzzle, those picture puzzles. Mm-hmm. When you see the picture in front of you, putting the puzzles in place is a little bit easier than when you don't see the picture and you're trying to put that 200-piece puzzle together. It becomes a lot more difficult. So when I narrowed down, I started seeing the resources that I have, that I already had with me, and the things that I can use. So the decision that I made was I was going to narrow down to work with business people. Mm-hmm. Right? But if you've ever dealt with business people, they have gatekeepers. Mm-hmm. And their gatekeepers are their CPAs and their tax professionals.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So when you talk to a business person and you show him a proposal, the first thing he'll say to you, let me run this by my CPA. Mm-hmm. And in our business, we see CPAs as deal killers, right? That's how we see them.
Well, those CPAs listening, this is what Ralph feels about you.
No, but and that is changing because now that I'm understanding their business side, because I didn't understand what they were looking at, right, what they were seeing, right? Mm-hmm. So initially, that's what I thought about it. Man, if you run this through your CPA, he's going to say no, because first of all, he does not understand what we're talking about. He has an idea of your finance, but when we go specifically into detail about some of these things and how they work, he might not have a full grasp of that.
Gotcha.
So I said, I want to work with business people, and I will narrow down. I want to deal with their gatekeepers. So instead of going to the business person, because I know he's going to send me to his CPA, I said, why don't I work with the CPAs, and then I can show them the value, because once I get the buy-in from the CPA, guess what I have? Almost an automatic buying to the business owner.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is interesting, right? Because people might think if I narrow down, so narrowing down does not mean you exclude helping people, other people. Narrowing down means like, where do you put your focus
and your energy
and your energy towards a certain lane? Yeah. But if somebody was to walk up to you and say, hey, I need service, like the lady said, hey, are you still in financial services? You would help her.
Sure.
When you're in like, okay, I got to market, I got to go meet, I got to network. You now know where you want to spend your energy. Marketing and networking is with CPAs.
Exactly.
Gotcha. That's the key. People don't pick up.
Instead of doing just shooting all over the place,
right?
Now I'm focused,
trying to see what sticks.
Exactly. because that's how it used to be, right? So like this month, I'll say, man, let's send some mailers out on final expense, and nothing comes back. I said, okay, well, let's send something on this other stuff, right? Mortgage protection, and maybe a couple of things come out of that. But now everything that I'm doing now is related to CPAs and tax professionals.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how do you find that you have more energy that way versus the other way? I mean,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He's happy. He's
Let's go back to what Ken talked about the car, about the Honda dealer, right?
Right.
About the guy that fixes the Honda.
Mm-hmm.
After you fix 10 Honda cars, you know everything about them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what every part is. You know what tool to use to do the thing. You're not guessing anymore. You're not doing trial and error anymore.
Right.
Now that I'm focused and I know I'm looking for CPAs and tax professionals, and it's not every CPA and tax professional I'm looking for. Even that has a niche. I'm talking to CPAs and professionals and tax professionals that have at least 30 to 35% of their clients are business owners.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just doing W-2, I'm not interested in you. I'm not interested in talking to you about what I'm doing, because what I'm doing might not relate to you.
So you narrowed your niche, and then you narrowed the niche
down again. Mm-hmm. But that's good. So you have a very clear idea of who you want to work with.
Yes.
And that helped you to narrow it down. So it sounds like if we back it up a little bit, it was now who's my ideal client, and then how do I get to them?
Yeah.
Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, man. Shoot, this is good. I'm scared.
So because I'm looking for business people, if all you do is W-2, you're not the CPA or the tax professional that I'm looking for. Right. A tax professional that does business taxes and all of that, that's the person I can bring value to, so he can bring it to his client.
Right. So the lesson I'm hearing from this, when it comes to narrowing down your niche, I'm thinking about all your collateral that you save on now, because you're not creating collateral for like just to throw around to anybody. I'm going to just design collateral that speaks a certain language, I think, right? For that type of person. Exactly. And that's good.
Yes. So that helps you, right? You know, okay, what do I need to do today? I need to follow up with this accountant, with the CPA. Like a couple of CPAs I've been following up with. One of them just sent me an email today because they were out after tax season. They went out on vacation and then they came back. She just sent me an email today, say, hey, let's meet next week. Mm-hmm. Right? Because the value proposition I have with them, they see value to it, not for me, but for themselves also, how that can enhance their business. So they want to talk to me and see what I can bring to the table for them. Right? So let's see what, just look at some of the, benefits of focusing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. So it is much easier to identify ideal prospect when you work in a target market, right? We that's what we've been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody is not doing taxes for business people, it's not my target.
Okay.
Somebody else can talk to him, right? That's not the CPA I'm looking for. So
Mm-hmm.
so it helps me focus. So when I'm doing my research to talk to CPAs, and when I get them on the phone and we're talking, part of my question to them, what percentage of your business is W-2 and what percentage is 1099?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then they tell me, if somebody tells me, okay, I'm 30-40% business, then we can talk.
Right.
Right.
So you have a list of questions to help you qualify.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh yes, I qualify them.
Okay, that's good, man.
As I talk to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they look at that and they say, oh yeah, I think we can work, because I have a proposal for them that's going to intrigue them about helping their business too,
right?
To get to where they want to go, right?
That's good. That's good stuff.
So another benefit is you get to know their world better, so you're able to bring better solutions to their problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like I initially, what did I say about CPAs? I consider them deal killers, right?
Right.
But now that I'm getting into their world, I'm understanding and I'm seeing that they have some problems that they don't know how to fix, that I can help them with.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not seeing them anymore as deal killers, but I'm seeing them as people who need additional information about things that I can do and help them to see, by them aligning with me, how we can help them look better to their business owner clients.
I like what you're saying, because when you narrow down your focus, you're able to now identify their problems.
Exactly.
Right.
So you can see, they have a pain point that I didn't know exist until I focus on that group. Let me give you back in the day when I was in the fitness world.
Sure.
Sounds like, what are you doing now? Right? When I just say that. So of course, people would say, I want to help everybody, right? I want to help everybody get in better shape.
Yeah.
And they would have modest success. But the ones who would say, I want to help high earners, or I want to help women attorneys get in better shape. I want to help moms with kids, preteen kids, or moms with infants find ways to stay shape. You're narrowing down, especially if you are a mom who happens to be in the fitness industry and you went through staying in shape with kids.
Yeah.
Man, you talk about the language that can be shared amongst each other, right?
Yes.
And they're like, oh, you understand me. You know that I had to run with the stroller to try to get my steps in at the same time. And I'm laying on my back and I'm pushing, the kid up and down to try to get some bench pressing in. I'm using the kids for bench presses and stuff like that. Arm curls. You're like, come here, I told you not to do that. You're doing arm curls. You can speak that language.
Yeah.
So, and I think people don't understand how you could have what they call, we used to talk about having raving fans.
Yeah.
It's one thing to have, customers. That's old school to have a customer. What people want now is you to know them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They want you to know them, and then when you do that, they become raving fans because you're speaking their language. Am I?
You get it. You get it.
Okay.
And this point makes that too. So your message is more relevant and therefore more effective.
See?
Yeah. And people are drawn. There's I love Serena Williams. I think she had this slogan, be seen, be heard. And I think that's what a lot of people resonate with. Like, you see me, you see what I'm going through, you see what I'm feeling, you hear me, I'm not being ignored. When there's so much noise out there, people do want to know that, I identify, or you identify with me. And then as the business owner, you're presenting this win-win. So it's, here's how you can win. But guess what? On the backside of it, I'm also going to be able to win as well. And so we can win together. And I think that's something that, I don't think anybody minds if you win, but hey, as long as I'm winning too, we're, I'm in it with you. So let's do it. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Right?
And once you talk to, several CPAs over and over and over, guess what? Your language becomes sincere, clear, right? There is no ambiguity in what you're saying, and you start to empathize with them because you understand what is happening in their business to some extent, right? And what are their pain points. So you talk to them, you use words, we all know words make a difference, right?
Words matter.
And words that they can relate to. So it's really amazing. Another benefit is that you expand your geographic reach of your business.
Okay, unpack that one for me.
Yeah.
I'm talking to a lady right now. She's in Texas. She's a CPA in Texas. Okay. Prior to that, I didn't think of dealing with somebody outside of the DMV because most of my clients are DMV clients.
And so just for our listeners, DMV, like if you're listening in Texas.
Oh.
Because I thought, hey, back in the day, the DMV was in DC. You went to the DMV to do all your motor vehicle,
motor vehicle.
So just to clarify, for if you're in Europe,
District of Columbia, Maryland,
DC,
Virginia,
DMV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because
now that I know the type of CPA that I'm looking for, he can be any place in the United States. I can deal with that because 2020 has helped us to maximize on using Zoom and all of that. So the technology on these things have improved. So I don't even have to go to Texas to see her, right? We do Zoom meetings. And she's one of my tax CPAs that I'm working with. But she's in Texas. So now I'm looking around. I'm not just confined to this area. I know I can deal with a CPA even if they live in Florida. Because now that I've identified the problems that the CPAs have, it's almost across the board, right? Whether they're in Maryland, whether they're in Virginia, or whether they're in Florida, most of them have similar challenges in their businesses. And I can take the message to them that I can be help to them, and together we can help their clients.
See, you know what? You this is good because a lot of times what people may not realize is that when you narrow your niche and pick out a group of people, like you tax professionals, accountants, you now get exposed to even more things in that group, like conferences, because they know, hey, Ralph knows our language,
right?
So we need somebody to come and speak to us about this problem that Ralph knows about that we have.
Yeah.
Let's bring them to this international, or national, let's say national tax preparers or CPA conference, because you've become familiar to their thing. So you can, like, things like association. Where do they hang out at?
Right.
Yeah.
See, when you know what your niche is, now you can narrow down all your research. You can hang out where they hang out at. And I just think it's just a more enjoyable way of doing business.
Right. Yeah. You don't learn a new industry every single time. And so I think that's another beautiful thing. You can kind of, create your own lane in that industry. And that's a nice side of narrowing down that focus.
It is.
And go ahead.
I met with a lady. She is the past president of the Maryland CPA Association. I forgot the correct name for it, right? We met, we had lunch, and we talked. I showed her what I can do, and she said, "Well, Ralph, you caught me at. I'm looking to retire." But this was the question she asked me. She said, "Have you thought of speaking to our local association, the CPA organization?" I said, "You know how difficult it is to get into those places. You have to have the right thing." She said, "Okay, we can talk about it." And then she told me, "I have a young guy who might take over my practice, and I think both of you should meet and talk about this, because I think at the stage he is in the business now, this is something he needs to deal with. Because if like she said, if I was starting it now, I would align with you."
Okay.
So it opens a whole lot more. And one more before looking at the time. It's much easier to create a reputation, right? We've been talking about that, as well as generate more referrals and introductions, because now everybody knows what you do. This is what I'm known for. This is what I'm known for. This is what I'm known for. That's why the Chicks group gets calls by churches to go do spiritual gift classes, right?
Yeah, it got out. The word got out.
The word is out there. The word is out there, right? So a church that is looking to help their congregation grow and teach, and they don't have the resource indoor, guess what? They look outside, and who do they look for? Chicks group.
we definitely been blessed in that to be able to do that a few times. That is really a great feeling to be able to go and travel and bless a church or body, a congregation around that. It's a good thing when people call you and they say, "Oh, here's Mr. and Mrs. So and so." They call you by your lane, and that is that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
that can't happen if you're all over the place.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it almost seems counterintuitive, but
it does.
but it's a beautiful thing when you narrow down how much more it opens up
It
to
opens
you.
up. That is the people think when you narrow down, it gets when you narrow, it opens up.
Yeah.
It's one of those. It's one of those contradictions of life. You think that, okay, if I narrow it down, it's going to get smaller. No, when you narrow it down, it gets bigger.
Yeah.
Look, you got an accountant calling you now.
Man, when my phone rings like that, that means it's a call coming from Africa on WhatsApp. Somebody needs money.
So now you're going to end up being now we're talking to Mr. International.
Right.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it takes a certain amount of courage.
Yeah.
Because see, we can say narrow your focus, but man, that's hard.
It is.
It is hard, and it takes a little bit of sagacity to do that, right?
I love that word.
I know you do. It takes a little sagacity to do that, and but it has a beautiful payoff when you do.
It sure does.
It feels funny. It's like putting on rollerblades for the first time, or ice blades. You're like, I don't know, this doesn't feel right. I should be doing more. I should be talking to everybody. This is awkward not to.
Yeah.
But you want me to focus on a narrow, men over 50, who smoke cigars. You want me to just focus on that, whatever your thing. Right. So whatever your thing is, niche it down as fine as you can. Pack it down. So if your thing is making blankets, and you want to, like I have a relative who makes reef.
Yeah.
So she can say, I make reef for everybody.
Yeah.
Or she could say, I make reef for wounded soldiers.
Exactly.
Now that sound, she might be, that's not big enough. That right there.
Yeah, all those graves at Arlington Cemetery alone. Yeah. I mean,
and she takes time to customize it, because she'll customize it to an event that you're having or a season. So if she could really do something with that. It's time consuming though.
That made me think, because there's a store that all they do is they sell Christmas ornaments. That's it. Year round, they sell Christmas ornaments, and that's I can't remember the name of the store, but when you talk about just narrowing down to one holiday, and I mean, it's a big holiday, obviously, and we love Christmas, but it almost feels like scary to say, I'm just going to focus on this one, this one lane, this one area. But we are seeing that there are success stories when a business does do that. And obviously Ralph is an example of that as well. So, yeah.
So let me just say, Mark said something beautiful.
There's an
elegant paradox here. Narrowing, creating expansion. Yes, you're right. Yeah,
that is a paradox, right?
Yeah,
that's a great word. That's a great word. It is. It doesn't feel right. It feels like something's wrong to do that. But it's so wrong. It feels so wrong, but it's so right.
Yeah.
Well, I got a song. I feel a song.
Don't sing now.
I feel a song coming on. If loving you is wrong, I don't want to do right. That is so inappropriate.
Oh boy,
that is not the song. That is not the song.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So yeah, let me see if we can finish. I don't finish. Okay, I didn't see that here, but I'll just talk through these. So why do we find it so difficult to focus? No, I don't need that picture yet. I'm coming to that picture.
Okay,
I'll get that picture.
Yes, sir. I want to know what that's about.
It's so difficult to focus on one thing, right? Why? Karen said it the first time: fear of missing out. Right? Because we think we're missing on opportunities when we narrow down, and we want, oh man, you mean I can't sell to all these people in law? I got to sell to just these people in this corner? Yes, that's what we're asking you to do. That's exactly what we're asking you to do, because what happens when we don't narrow down? We're not held accountable.
Not held accountable. Okay.
That's one of the things I can say of myself when I was all over the place.
Okay.
When I'm all over the place, right? If it doesn't go good with seniors doing final expense, I say, okay, well, maybe I'll try next time. I'll do next. You shift accountability.
Like gotcha.
Oh, okay.
But now that I know I have to deal with CPAs, that's it, right? I can't say, oh, I didn't. There was the CPS didn't work this month, so I got to do something else next month. And by the time you know it, I found 12 things for every month has its own thing, and nothing gets done.
Right.
But
Yeah.
now that is what I have to do every day, every month, every year. So I'm being held accountable to that.
I like that. Hold your feet to the fire.
Yeah. And the reason we don't want to focus, we're not disciplined, man. Discipline is our biggest challenge. You know, we all
yeah.
Look, I'm not even saying anything right now. I'm quiet because I don't want you to ask me what did I do.
We're not. It's discipline is tough.
Yeah.
Discipline is hard.
It is. And that's why we're having this focus marathon. But Ralph, we talk a little bit. I mean, Antonio is saying he doesn't want you to say certain things, but you all meet on Thursdays to hold each other accountable. Talk a little. I mean, you don't have to go into detail about what you all talk about, but why did you decide to have these weekly or bi-weekly meetings? What was the impetus behind that?
Well, one is painful.
For me, it was accountability. I've always had the word, you got to be accountable to somebody. I get certain things I'm accountable, but I've never had a guy. You know, men, we don't like to talk, right? I've never had a guy where I can talk to him what's in my heart, and he can advise me on, not give me worldly knowledge, give me spiritual advice, right? Not tell me about the world. I have a lot of those.
Right, sure. You got those.
But I somebody that can, you know, when I say something, he can say, okay, let me look at. Hey, did you see this verse? He can pull up his Bible, right? Look, we do that all the time. He say, oh, you're reaching for your Bible, but that accountability to know that I can be open to somebody. I can, you know, whatever pain is happening, business, if things are not going right, I tell him, and he tells me too, and I give him advice about some of the things that he can do, and I give him ideas probably that he might not. Even today we talked about something, and I said something. He said, oh, I didn't even think about that. I'm going to talk to Ken about that. Yeah. Right. So we bounce ideas, you know, with each other, and we grow and we learn and we grow from that, and we help each other.
Yeah, I think. No, I think since you brought it up, I think men don't have enough safe places, you know, where they can actually. Because we're suspicious.
What's a modern word?
Well, no, we're suspicious, right? So we become suspicious of, you know, another guy wanting to know about you and understand you and stuff like that. And so we kind of like, nah, I don't want to share it because I don't know you. Especially, you know, like somebody like me from the inner city, I just don't share things with you like that.
Yeah.
But to have that, guys need that.
Yeah.
You need that. It's like a pressure valve that doesn't get a chance to release some of the air. The pressure is building up. You got to have a valve that you can turn a little bit, at least a little bit, to get some of that air out so you don't blow. And that's why you see certain people just blowing up, going off, exploding on people because they don't have an outlet, a safe outlet that's non-judgmental. You know, it's like, man, that's kind of crazy what you just said, but you know, I receive what you're saying, and then we like, okay, here's a scripture that, you know, what do you think about that? You know, based on what you said and what the scripture said, what do you think? So, you know, this is a safe place. And one of the other things we do is sometimes we'll say, hey, by next week, you should have this done, right?
Right.
And then you go, yeah, okay. And then it's like now somebody's going to be next Thursday. I was like, man, if I had to get up early in the morning, that Thursday when we talk, I'm going to have that thing done.
Right.
You know, that I said, because that's that accountability part. Somebody going to check you.
So what I love about that is it helps to keep you focused.
Yeah,
it does. It does.
She worked us.
It does. It sure does. It sure does. It does. You know, if you just compare, you know, a laser and a regular light. When you look at them, right, a regular light uses all of its energy. It loses all of it in heat. But then a laser is focused on the beam, and that beam can destroy stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's how focused the laser is compared to just a light. So, and that is the hope, and that's where I believe if we have to be excellent and use the gifts that we've been given, that God has given us, for his glory and his service, we have to be focused on whatever we're doing, right? Because in everything that we're doing, we're serving him.
Yeah.
Right? If they used to say, what would Jesus say? I remember that saying they used to do several years ago. What would Jesus say about this? But imagine if if we know he's there, but imagine if he was standing by you and looking at how you're doing your work. Would you think he'll be pleased?
Wow.
That's a good question.
Yeah. So that's why the accountability with Antonio is good, and just for us to do our best, serve, because in serving others, we're serving him, right? That is how we're to operate in this space until he comes back. But so we have to be excellent for him.
Well, I tell you what, for me, that the scripture you brought out tonight for Elisha,
Yes.
that one right hit me. I never saw that as a all in. Yeah. He slaughtered the thing, man. He was like, I'm not coming back to this.
I'm not. I'm done. I'm done with being a farmer.
There's no plan B. There's no plan B. Because somebody told me that a plan B is keeping you distracted. Because you keep looking back. Well, I got this, but I got this plan B. You're not all in. This is all in.
Right.
Yeah.
And that goes against, our theme for the Focus Marathon, talking about keeping your hand to the plow.
Yeah.
And so you have to look forward,
exactly.
from that scripture as well.
Yeah.
So,
Ralph, I think you got a comment out there.
We've had the story of Hannibal, right? And how he
burned the ships, nobody's going back home.
He burned the ship and said, we're going to fight.
Now what you going to do?
Yeah.
Yep. I think you might have a comment out there. Let me see.
Yeah, it says safe places have been compromised in the past.
Trust
needs to be rebuilt. Difficult.
Yep. So they were saying like, we I think we're talking about our conversation about men talking, not only men, but men and women. They need a safe place. We need a safe place. And what we're dealing with sometimes is like our past. That trust may have been compromised, but now it's time to rebuild that. And it takes time.
Yeah.
And so it's like you can't push it on somebody. You got to kind of like over time let them see in your actions that you're real. You don't, you're really there for the person. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, this has been such a good conversation.
Yeah, it has been. It has been. This is good.
Yeah, I appreciate everything that you shared, especially the benefits of focusing. Like those are some really good nuggets, very good nuggets.
So Ralph, Hasting-Spaine.
Yes.
The name of this show is called Taking the Next Step. So we like to ask our guests when they come on. And by the way, his website is strolling at the bottom here. So if you want to check that out, his website is there. But we always ask the people that come on, unless they slip by and we forget, but what would you give us, people that are listening now, that will be listening in the future? Come on. What's the next step, man?
What's the next step?
Yep. We're talking about narrowing our niche, focusing down. What would be somebody's next step?
One, I would say just re-examine where you are. If that is where you want to be, see how narrow you can get that. Your focus in that area. So, I don't know what profession some of these people are, but like Mark said here, burn the bridge.
Burning bridges.
Right? but that's what Elisha did, right? So, but just do a self-evaluation and be true to yourself, right? We can lie to other people, but it's difficult to lie to yourself. You know when you lie to yourself. So be real with yourself, because if you're not real with yourself, you can't take the next step, because it's going to be painful to do what you need to do. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be painful. So do a real assessment. Hopefully, have somebody like I have, Antonio, that I can talk to. If you don't have one, especially for the men, because women, they always have friends to talk to. They
Look,
always
man,
have
look,
friends to
it's my
talk to.
turnaround. I had to look at Karen's calendar to see when her crew, I call it the crew, they be getting together, man. They be going to brunch here, a lunch there, a meet here.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a
It
beautiful
is.
thing.
It is.
So,
Look at my story. Right, my wife has six. There's six girls, so she has five other sisters. Right, the 10 of them, and from morning to she's moving from one to the other, and sometimes they do these 3-4 week calls and they talking, and that is one set that she has, and then she has all the other, And I'm looking, damn, God, you got so many friends.
Yeah.
So self-evaluation, find somebody you can confide in, talk to them, and see where you are.
Yeah.
If you probably need to burn some bridges that you intuitively at the back of your mind, you should have done those, but we normally just hold on to things because we're afraid, fear.
Yeah.
But let's, as Paul said to Timothy, let's, not fear. Get away from being timid. Right?
Stir up the gift. Let's stir up the gifts.
Yeah.
Yo, so you brought up, we're gonna wrap this thing up here. You brought a picture that you wanted to show us.
Oh, okay.
I inadvertently
there
brought
were two
it up.
pictures really, because this first one, right? I wanted to use this as an example of you go to a restaurant where you have a menu. And the other picture, if you looked at it, I don't know if you can bring that other one up.
Sir, I don't have that. I'm sorry.
There was a second one at the bottom. It was a buffet, right? And the food is all over the place. I hate buffets. Right? Because you go in and you see people with a plate and food on top of food and no, focus, man. Just go get your lamb chop and eat it. Don't be... So that was why I was looking at. I wanted to bring those two pictures just to.
Oh, okay. So the buffet versus go get your meal.
So
you know what? We had that experience in Fort Lauderdale. I went in there. I said, you know what? I'm gonna get me some. What I like the rib tips, pork the rib tips.
Yeah.
And then when we got in the restaurant, we got all this. You can try this everything menu. It's a taster kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
I should have just went with get my little short ribs is what they call them. They have some short ribs. Yeah. I should have just focused on my thing, and I would have been fine. But
we both would have been fine. But no, we both did this tasting menu.
Oh my God. Half the menu was just a wreck for us.
Hey, it's been a pleasure to be part of this. As an African, I always have to leave you with a folk story, right? We have this folk story to tell. We used to, read as a kid about the spider. Do you know why the spider's middle is so small?
Why?
Okay, so the spider in the village that he lived, there are about 4 or 5 villages around, and he got invited to a party, and all the parties were on the same day. So the spider told his friend, he went to a friend in one village, said, look, I want to come to this party, but there's another party over there. So this is what we'll do. You'll tie a string around me, and when they start eating at your place, just pull me and I'll come over there and eat. And he went and did it to the other 3 places, right? So all these 4 places, unfortunately for him, all of them started eating at the same time. So they pulled him so hard, he didn't get any food to eat, but his middle got small. Because he wasn't focused. He could have focused and go to one place and eat, but he wanted to eat every place.
Wow.
That's why the spider has a smaller middle. So that's an African folk story. That's what we used to learn as kids back home.
Yeah. So that's going to get us later at night. Like, okay.
I got it.
You got it. Yeah. Oh my God.
They all ate at the same time, so that he got pulled all at the same time.
He got pulled 4 ways.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So he didn't get to eat He just got slimmer. That's all.
Well, Sir Ralph Hasting-Spaine, thank you so much, man, for coming out tonight, sharing with us the importance of focusing and narrowing your niche, and even taking your niche down. So that is really hard. You really got to take time out to really think, get to yourself, and first of all, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
You know, find out what you want to do, and then how can you narrow what you want to do down so you can resonate with the people in that lane and be the go-to person for that community.
Yeah.
Ralph?
It's all over. That's what we see.
Thank you, sir. That was so nice. That was so nice. We appreciate that. We man, just so thankful for you in our life. We you're special, man. You're a special guy for us, man. So
thank you.
We got a dinner, the four of us.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Hey, Ralph, can I tell you, man, the people here are so kind, man.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you.
Brittany says so. It was timely.
Yeah.
They're so good, man. Yes. Yeah, go through these, man.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, find our voice and reach our audience. That's good. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, brother, thank you so much for all your wisdom and the insight and everything, and spending this time with us. It has been phenomenal. Good. We are just overjoyed and thrilled with everything that you shared tonight. It was good. Very good.
Well, look at here. If this is your first time here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. All that good stuff. And we'll be back here tomorrow with you.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Same bat time, same bat channel. Hey, look, y'all take care of yourself. And y'all be safe out there. It's a crazy world we live in, but we got it, right? Take care. Wash hands, y'all. Look, that's what from BJ said. Wash your hands. Come on. Thank you, sir, for that reminder. Y'all take care of yourself.
Okay.
All right, now. Ralph, you hold on here, brother. Hold on.